Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Justin Verlander has dominated the Twins over his career. This season is no different. A 2-0 record, a 0.75 ERA this season against Minnesota. JV hoping to dominate him again here today, and a great day for baseball. Welcome to Comerica Park. Final game of the series featuring the Minnesota Twins and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for the final game in this series. The Tigers, a big win last night, Rod. They scored a lot of runs late, right in the middle of all the scoring. Torrey Hunter, and really when you look at what he's done this year, the 2 spot in the lineup, he has been absolutely fantastic.
Well, not only this year, but it's been a wonderful transformation watching Torrey Hunter throughout his major league career. Here's a guy, when he first came to the movies, he was a dead pull hitter. He was batting right in the middle of the batting order for the Minnesota Twins. But the last 4 or 5 years or so, he has turned into a guy that will bunt for a base hit. He will hit behind the runner. He will go deep if you still challenge him inside. But by and large, he's trying to hit the ball the other way. And because of that, take a look at where he ranks as number 2 hitters in the game of baseball the last calendar year. The hits are up. He scored a lot of runs. There's a ton of RBIs. The batting average is way up, and this guy has turned into a really nice find and an outstanding free agent acquisition for the Detroit Tigers this season.
All right, Tigers try and close out this homestand with a win. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios and John Keating. Coming up today, the Tigers and the Twins. The grudge match coming up. Final game of the series next on Fox Sports Detroit. Minnesota Twins wrapping up this series here at the ballpark. The starting lineup for the Twins today presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Brian Dozier at the top. Chris Herman will catch. You got Justin Morneau at first. Willingham back in the lineup as the DH. Domit, then Plouffe. And a bottom three of Clete Thomas, Wilkin Ramirez, and Doug Bernier gets the start at short here this afternoon on a overcast afternoon, but warm nonetheless. 83 degrees our game time temperature as Brian Dozier settles into the batter's box. And here we go. The first pitch of today's ball game is inside. 1 ball to no strikes on Dozier. Justin Verlander on the hill for the Tigers. Trying to pitch the Tigers to a series win here today. Dozier sends it high and deep into left field. Down the line, it is a foul ball.
You have to be careful with Dozier when you try to crowd him with fastballs inside. He has 12 homers this year, and most of the home runs have gone to left field. He's got some power in that direction.
Boy, does he. But he hooked that one foul, fortunately for Verlander. Dozier has, as you mentioned, 12 homers, which is the most by a Twins second baseman since Todd Walker hit 12 back in 1998.
Long time.
Real long time, and he almost got his 13th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is fouled back out of play. 1-2 on Dozier. Verlander today is brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Verlander, good numbers against the Minnesota Twins this year and good numbers overall in his career. He checks in with 160 strikeouts, just 59 base on balls for the Tigers ace.
Ooh, that pitch coming up and in. Off speed.
It would be nice to see Verlander go out there today and incorporate all 4 of his pitches real early in this game to see if he has all of them this afternoon.
2-2 on Dozier. Just underway here at the ballpark. A very defensive swing is popped up foul back out of play.
Good breaking ball there by Justin Verlander. Do not know how Dozier made contact. He swung the bat as his knees were buckling, but still somehow able to make contact. It still amazes me that Verlander can get the kind of depth that he gets on his curveball. He doesn't even use the seams. Seamless curveball Justin throws.
Here's the 2-2 again, and it's lined into left, a base hit. Leadoff single for Brian Dozier.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defensive alignment this afternoon. Behind Justin Verlander, Tuiasa Sopo gets the start in left field. In center field, you have the speedy Austin Jackson. You have the ageless wonder Torrey Hunter out in right field. Up the middle, they have Iglesias and Infante on the corners of the infield. It's Miggy and the Prince. And Brian Holiday getting the second consecutive start behind the plate here today.
Here is the catcher, Chris Herman, batting in the 2 slot this afternoon. Verlander misses way outside with the fastball. 1-0.
Dozier does have some speed. He has stolen 10 bases. Would not be shocked to see him take off. And now they have a favorable count for a hit and run if Ron Gardenhire, their manager, wants to be aggressive this afternoon against Justin.
Opponents have been successful in 16 straight steal attempts against Detroit. That's drilled to right center field. It's going toward the gap. Torrey is on the run. So is Jackson. Neither will get it. Dozier on his way to third. They're going to send him home. Infante will hold up the relay. 2 batters into this game. The Twins have a 1-0 lead.
It is usually the Twins that are trailing after the first inning. They've given up a lot of first inning runs themselves as a club, but today they jump on Justin Verlander. Herman gets himself a 1-0 fastball that is basically right down the middle, sitting on a tee for him, and he finds the gap in right center field.
13th RBI for Herman, and given the hurry-up sign was Dozier, and he scored with ease without a throw, as a matter of fact. 4 doubles on the season now for Chris Herman. Justin Morneau looks at a ball outside. 1-0.
Well, 2 batters in, and Justin Verlander already pitching in stress.
And Morneau has been a big reason why the Tigers have had some stress in this series. He's had a huge series. He's homered. He's knocked in 4. Morneau now has knocked in 72 for the year. Trying to pick up another here with nobody out. Outside again. 3 balls, no strikes. JV has not come out crisp here this afternoon, giving up a single to Dozier and a double to Herman.
And Jeff Jones, the pitching coach for the Tigers, may have to make an early visit out to check on his right-hander today.
And there's a strike. 3-1. JV has not lost to the Twins since July of 2006. Nope, that's incorrect. 2010, I beg your pardon. July of 2010. That's fouled straight back, 3-2. And in that stretch, he's 9-0 with a 1.67 ERA, but they've gotten to him early today. Josh Willingham waiting on deck. He's back in the lineup this afternoon. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He comes back to strike out Morneau. First of the ball game now for JV.
Pretty good fastball here by Justin. A little tailing action at 94 miles an hour. It's a nice job of catching that ball as well by the catcher, Brian Pena. Excuse me, Brian Holiday.
That was a nasty pitch.
It was. We don't usually see Verlander throwing two-seam fastballs, but that one had two-seam action to it. By the way, Pena could have caught today, but Jim electing not to start him this afternoon.
Here's Willingham, and he looks at a strike. Saw Brian walking into the clubhouse today. Looked like he was walking a whole lot better.
Yeah, I saw him running around on the field, and I did not see a limp when he was out there running.
Pena's done marvelous work in the absence of Alex Avila.
Unlike last night, Holiday was catching Anibal Sanchez for the very first time this year. This is the third time that he has caught Justin Verlander this season.
Here's the 0-1. Ooh, a beauty of a bender. It drops in for strike two.
He's got that real good curveball today. He's already thrown a couple of really good ones.
Willingham 0 for 3 in the opener. Did not play yesterday. Has spent some time on the DL this year with a knee problem. Numbers are down a bit this season as compared to last year. In fact, quite a bit. Swing and a miss. And Verlander comes back with a couple of strikeouts. So he is righted to ship quite quickly.
And both of the strikeouts that he's gotten on the fastball. He got a tailing fastball that he got Justin Morneau to swing through. And he climbed the ladder there against Willingham and got him to swing through a mid-90s fastball up in the zone.
2 outs now for Ryan Dozier. Just 1 for 7 in the series, but he's walked a couple times. And it's in there. Strike one. Fastball from JV. Not really good numbers against Verlander. 0 for 11 with 3 punch-outs. Ball outside. When you total up all the numbers today, the starting lineup for the Twins have put up against Verlander in their careers just 180. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And they also have a team that has punched out 12 times in the first 2 games of this series. And it looks like as a team they may strike out more this year than any year in their history. So they swing and miss a lot, which is odd really for a team that doesn't have a lot of power hitters. They got a couple, but by and large most of these guys are kind of table setter kind of guys.
Here's the 1-2. A little bit off the plate.
Doman's got some pop in the bat. Of course, Willingham has got some pop in his bat. Morneau, but other than that, not many others.
So Verlander trying to strand that 2-base hit after giving up the run. Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Doman batting .242. Here's Trevor Plouffe waiting on deck. Final game in this series, each team with a victory. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball right side, straight at Infante, and the damage was limited. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 man left. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. Two batters into the game, they took the lead. Torrey Hunter getting ready to take his swings. Likewise, Austin Jackson. Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. A.J. Hunter and Cabrera, your top 3. Fielder Martinez, Tuiasosopo in the middle of the lineup. Then you've got Infante playing second. Iglesias at short. Brian Holiday is doing the catching, and they will face the left-handed offerings of Andrew Albers.
He's off to a nice start. 3 big league starts this season, 2-1 record. He has a fastball that is clearly under the speed limit. It will go anywhere from 82 to 87 miles an hour. He's got the other 3 complementary pitches to go with the fastball, the curve, the slider, and the changeup.
So Albers all set to go out of New Battleford, Saskatchewan.
Tigers are going to have to really concentrate on driving the ball the other way today, because if they don't and they're trying to pull Albers, it's going to be a very long day for some of these right-handed batters.
Albers, one of the few starting pitchers that will throw from the stretch all the time. He's 27 years old.
Tigers have one of those guys too, and Jose Alvarez, who's now pitching out of their bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike. I guess Albers did some research on guys leading off innings and pitching from the windup as opposed to the stretch, and the numbers were way better in the stretch. And so he will do that full time. 2-1.
And Jackson's been on fire lately. 7 of his last 14, so he's been getting on base quite often. And usually when Jackson gets on base, he scores a run. Ooh, good cut.
2-2. Austin 5 for 10 in the series. 9 hits on the homestand now for Detroit. Trying to set the table for Torrey, then Cabrera, then Fielder. Here's the 2-2. Pulled foul, third base side.
Here's why the opponents have to keep Jackson off the base path since he's come to the big leagues. The Tigers, their winning clip over 700 as far as the winning percentage is concerned. And when he doesn't score a run, of course, they don't perform very well.
2-2 the count. And he missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Albers originally was a 12th round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers in 04, but he wanted to play college instead at Kentucky. And Jackson spoils one back at the screen. He's a very interesting story that we'll get into as the day progresses, but his opportunity here for the Twins, as you look at his minor league numbers, 11-5.
He earned this call up.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on their radar when the season began.
Here's the 3-2 again, and it's driven in the air to center. Right at Cleat Thomas, and Jackson is out, one gone.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Ramirez, Thomas, and Doman in the outfield. Plouffe, Bernier, Dozier, and Morneau in the infield, and Herman, who played right field the first couple of days, now the catcher.
Herman behind the plate. Of course, the Twins are without Joe Mauer, who was placed on the 7-day concussion list a couple of days ago. Torrey batting .307. Ball one outside.
That at bat by Torrey Hunter last night against their starter. It was a classic at bat, and it ended with Torrey doubling in a couple of runs.
Waves and misses 1-1. It's funny because at the end of the year, I think you go back and you remember some of the key moments in the season, and that's one at bat that I think will stick out a little bit. There have been so many key blows delivered by Tigers hitters this year, most of them by Cabrera. There's a ground ball to third. Plouffe throws out Torrey, 2 gone. Speaking of Cabrera, here he comes. .358 batting average. He knocked in 3 in the ball game last night.
And Miggy is one that if you try to sneak a fastball by him on the very first pitch of any at bat, usually he doesn't allow you to do so. We'll see how Andrew Albers attacks the best hitter in the game.
Cabrera, with his late double last night, extended his hitting streak to 8 consecutive games. Fouls off the first pitch, 0-1.
Very important for Albers to have great command throughout the game if he's going to beat the best offense in baseball. Fastball gets up to 88, which means he's got to locate it on the corners. He's got to stay south of the knees. Every now and then you can elevate, but by and large, you have to live down in the zone.
There's a high drive into deep right. Right in front of the warning track. Doman hauls it in. It's a 1-2-3 inning. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Ram trucks now get a great summer deal on a Ram truck at the Ram Summer Clearance Event. And by Capri Sun, no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Back here at the ballpark on our way to the second on a nice day for baseball here in the Motor City. Temperature in the low 80s. And the Tigers and Twins getting together here for game 3 in the series. Verlander back to the hill, missing outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Trevor Plouffe. Twins a run on 2 hits. Tigers no runs, no hits. It's a high, towering fly ball to center. Jackson under it. 1 out. We'll bring up Clee Thomas. Well, early on it was looking like this might be a bit of a tough day for Verlander. 2 batters into the game, 2 hits. They had a run.
Made a nice adjustment. Started commanding the fastball a little bit better. He gave up a hit on a breaking ball. He also gave up a hit on a fastball that was right down the middle to their number 2 hitter, their catcher, Herman. But after that, he was able to make some adjustments and locate the fastball a little bit better.
Which always seems to be the key, isn't it, on anybody's fastball, Verlander's or anyone else?
Everything works off the fastball. You command that first, then you get to some of your other pitches.
Drill to right field, sinking, and Torrey will play it on 1 hop.
Here is today's high-speed stat, and it's brought to you by Charter Internet. And, of course, everything gets going with the Tigers starting pitching, and this is post-All-Star break. Verlander checks in 2 wins, 3 losses, but the ERA is okay. Maxwell in the middle, 5-0 with a 1.69, and Sanchez 4-1 with a 1.51, having tremendous second halves. And you know Fister, well, he's a pretty good second half pitcher himself.
Sanchez last night was fabulous once again. It's a ground ball towards short. Iglesias gets in front of it to 2nd 1, and that's all they'll get.
Nice job there by Iglesias. By and large, we have watched him since he's come to the Tigers, and it seems like he's always in a hurry to do everything with those quick feet, those quick hands. But he knew he was only going to get 1 out here, so he got over there, really took his time, and made sure he gave Infante a nice feed just to get the 1 out. Didn't force the issue there.
We haven't seen him a lot, Rod, but it appears he seems to be one of those guys that likes to get in front of the ball if he can, as opposed to backhanding.
Yeah, I think because he wants to make sure if he doesn't field it cleanly, we've seen him field just about everything cleanly, it will stay in front of him. And with the quick hands and his flip across the diamond, he'll still have a chance to get that base runner out.
Doug Bernier, the batter, with 2 outs.
He has been awfully fun to watch, though, at that shortstop position in the little time we've had him.
Bernier batting .216. Takes ball 1 inside. First start in the series for the Twins shortstop, former Colorado Rocky. In fact, spent 7 seasons in the Rockies organization. Keeping a close eye on Wilkin Ramirez. And again, Verlander throws over to first base. Here's the stat we talked about a little bit earlier. The Tigers have had trouble holding runners and throwing them out. 16 of the last 16 attempts against Detroit have been successful. That is popped up. Foul ground. Prince has room. And that is that. For the Minnesota Twins, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On top early in this one as we go to the bottom of the second. Prince Fielder will start things off for Detroit. It'll be fielder Martinez Tuiasosopo facing left-hander Andrew Albers. You got the Tigers 1-2-3 in that first inning.
Albers doesn't waste much time. He works rather quickly on that mound. Grabs that ball back from the catcher Herman and looks for that next sign to deliver that next pitch.
2 balls, no strikes.
Your defenders love playing behind guys that work at a pretty crisp pace.
Fielder 1 for 8 in the series. Twins up until last night were playing pretty good defense.
Yes, they were.
Ball high. Now the count goes to 3-0. 5 hits on the homestand for Fielder. There's Victor waiting on deck. And a strike called, 3-1. Albers, a native Canadian, played for Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic. Drill to left center field. That'll get down. Base hit. Thomas over to cut it off. Prince taking the turn, going for 2. Here's a throw, and he's out by 1.5 miles.
2 miles.
Okay, 2 miles. A single for Prince. And he was a dead duck.
Real nice approach here by Prince, though. 3-1 fastball. Take a look at him pull his hands inside and barrel up this inside fastball and drive it the opposite way into the left center field gap where he made his mistake. He's hustling out of batter's box, but he's got his head down. Cleet Thomas got over there in a hurry, and Cleet's got a pretty good arm. We know that because he used to wear the Tigers uniform. He can throw. That was right on the money.
Fielder tried to dance around the tag with no luck. First hit of the ball game for Detroit. Bases are empty and a strike called on Victor Martinez. 5-game hit streak for Victor. Big series, 4 out of 8.
He's going to hit 300 again.
Well, at 285, not much to go. After spending the first 2 months of the season in the low 200s. 300 is certainly the area that Martinez is accustomed to.
From both sides of the plate.
Shoot this one in the air to shallow right field, and it's going to drop. Base hit. 1 on, 1 out. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you will get a free small order of curly fries. Here is Tuiasosopo. He's starting at left here today for Detroit. Back-to-back singles for the Tigers here in the second, but the throw out of Fielder at second base moving large. And Matt looks at a strike, 0-1. We were talking about the lack of fastball velocity for Albers. Terry Francona said after Albers beat the Indians, he dominated us today with a fastball that never even touched 90 miles an hour, which is something you don't see very often. It absolutely dominated.
It's all about location. Already of the 23 total pitches that Albers has thrown, 90% of those have been fastballs. So he works up, he works in and out, up in the zone, he works in and out at the bottom of the zone.
He threw a 2-hit complete game shutout against the Indians. There's a ball outside, 1-2.
He also has a real slow curveball that will go all the way down to about 65 miles an hour. We haven't seen it yet, but it's about time for him to throw it.
Did he go? They were asking for the appeal, but will not get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and Tuiasosopo is out.
He threw him that slow breaking ball that he missed with, and it was a check swing by Tuiasa Sopo. Then came right back with a fastball at about 86 miles an hour. He got Tuiasa Sopo to swing right through it.
First strikeout of the ball game for Albers. Here's Omar Infante. Albers this year was an all-star in AAA. Big numbers in the minor leagues, and so far so good at the major league level through 3 starts. 1 ball and 1 strike. Infante 311, 1 for 8 in the series. Tigers have Martinez at first base with 2 outs. Back out of play down the right field line, 1-2. Seven years of age, Andrew Albers. He's had Tommy John surgery in his past. In fact, he's had a couple of procedures on his elbow. There's a soft liner to left, base hit. Out of the reach of Trevor Plouffe. Martinez moves up. Third Tigers hit of the inning as we look at the ratio now on the left-hander Albers. He got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the first inning. He's thrown 30 now. And we'll see if Iglesias can deliver the 2-out hit. Jose's been on a tear. He's 9 for his last 15. In for strike 1. Pretty good homestand for Iglesias. In fact, he's 4 for 7 in this series. His average now jumping up to 324. Inside, backed him out of there. J.B. Shuck of the Angels is second on the rookie average list. David Lowe of KC. Certainly, if Iglesias is able to continue this season through September, really good chance of winning the Rookie of the Year.
And that, and the fact that the other gentlemen that were on that list, none of those are really playing in a pennant race.
That'll give Iglesias an opportunity to play on the big stage, play every day. 1-2 the count. Got him, strike 3. Albers pitches out of trouble here in the second. That is his second strikeout of the ballgame. Tigers baseball today is presented by Bell Tire. Well, Justin Verlander's had a lot of success over the Twins over the years. Right now he trails 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. A 2-0 record this year against Minnesota. Gave up a run 2 batters into the game, but after that has been able to slow him down. Brian Dozier stands in here to lead off the third. Dozier, Herman, and Morneau facing the right-hander. Ball up and in, 2-0 the count.
And Dozier got himself a hanging breaking ball when he came up in the first inning and singled sharply in the left field. Came around to score on the Herman double.
Here's the 2-0. In for a strike. 2-1 on Dozier. Brian's from a very small town, Fulton, Mississippi. In fact, it's a town of about 4,000 people. That's it. So to have someone come from that small of a town get to the big leagues, quite an accomplishment. Drive this one in the air to right, shallow right, and Torrey comes on to make the play. 1 out. It'll bring up Chris Herman. Season series between these two ball clubs. They've played 15 games. Tigers have won 9 of them. Including 6 of those here at home. 6-3 at home against the Twins this year. There's strike 1. Herman doubled in a run in the first inning. Got himself a nice juicy fastball and drove it to the gap in right center to knock in a run. Skies this one to right field. Torrey's been busy early on in this one. He'll run that one down. 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We check in with Justin White. All right, Justin, thank you. There's a wave and a miss by Morneau, and that Saturday matchup is going to be dynamite. And my buddy Rod Allen will be calling that game as well for Big Fox. He'll be the color analyst.
I'm looking forward to that. It's not often you get those kind of matchups during the course of the season. Both guys started the All-Star game in New York. Of course, Max for the American League, Harvey for the National League. Both power pitchers. This should be a lot of fun.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Driven in the air to left. Tuiasosopo is under it, still drifting to the warning track, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Presented by the new quarter pounder BLT. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338. Or if you prefer, vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Well, the Tigers down by a run here. Come to the plate in the Bottom half of the third, it'll be Holiday to lead it off, and Jackson and Hunter facing Andrew Albers, who throws a strike. And I guess we should get into the story about Albers. I mean, this guy, Rod, has gone through a lot just to get this opportunity with the Minnesota Twins.
Never gave up that dream. And here's a guy that drove across the country a couple different times and chasing workouts.
Swinging a drive deep into left field, way back and gone. It's the first big league homer for Brian Holiday. And he got every bit of that one. I mean, every bit.
I love silent treatment in the dugout.
We were just kidding. Well, what a feeling for Brian Holiday. There's a drive to left center field, and that ball is going to drop. Jackson will hold up with a single.
Jackson has been on fire lately. He's now 8 for his last 16.
What a feeling for Holiday.
Last night it was Holiday getting it started for the Tigers in the 7th inning when they finally took over the game against the Minnesota Twins. Today he gets them on the board with his first round tripper of his career.
First big league RBI as well. Jackson gets his 6th hit in the series. Here's Torrey Hunter. Torrey drops down a bunt. It'll go foul.
Good idea. We've seen Torrey do that quite often. We talked about Torrey at the top of our show today and the fact that he has really transformed himself from a guy that when he first came to the big leagues, a power hitter that loved to pull the baseball, to one of the best #2 hitters in the game. He'll bunt to move guys up in the scoring position. He'll hit behind the runner. He'll take the base hits the other way to drive in big runs. What an acquisition.
Complete hitter Torrey has turned into.
37 years old, playing like he's about 28.
Well, you've said this many times. Maybe the best spot in all of baseball to be parked in any lineup would be right ahead of Miguel Cabrera.
And with Austin Jackson on base, even though Jackson doesn't run all that often, there's still that perception that he will run. Therefore, if you're batting second, you get a heavy dose of fastballs. Torrey's always been a really good fastball hitter.
Torrey taking time as Albers takes too long. Grounded out his first time up, 0 for 1 for Hunter.
Huge hole on the right side of the infield where Torrey Hunter's gotten so many base hits this year, with Jackson being held on at first.
Pushing a bunt back to the mound. Albers will take the sure out at first base.
Here's what we were talking about regarding Torrey since the beginning of the 2012 season. Batting in that #2 spot. These are MLB ranks, not just the junior circuit. You can add in the senior circuit as well. No one better, really.
Well, he has advanced the runner into scoring position. Now a chance for Cabrera to knock him in.
Yeah, they got an open base here, but apparently they're going to pitch to Miguel Cabrera with all his lofty numbers, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Strike called 0-1. Miguel hit a ball to the warning track in right field in his first at bat, and here are those numbers with men in scoring position. 431.
Told you that Miguel will not try to pull Albers unless he forces him to by throwing something inside. By and large, Miguel will try to take him the other way, just as he did his first time up.
And he almost took him out of the ballpark. Batting .357, 123 RBIs now for Miguel. He is on pace for 158. And if he were to land at that number, it would be the third highest RBI total in a single season in Tigers history. Fouled straight back, 1-2.
I don't think there's one person in baseball that really doesn't believe that he can't get there.
I certainly believe it. Hank Greenberg had 180, which is the Tigers record for a single season. One and two the count. He'll fight that one off, back out of play. Leadoff home run by Holliday. His first big league homer has tied the game at 1. Jackson standing at second for Cabrera with 1 out. Grounded foul, third base side. Talking about Albers before that Holiday home run. After being released by the Padres, he went on to play independent baseball. And then decided he was going to drive from his home in Saskatchewan to both spring training in Arizona and Florida. He drove by himself to get these tryouts, and finally he was able to hook on with Minnesota.
In a 2004 Buick LeSabre.
He put some miles on it, that's for sure. Now the 1-2. Checked it, and he did not go.
Not only that, but when he made those journeys across country, he was going to Arizona looking for an opportunity, right? And then that opportunity all of a sudden wasn't there in Arizona, so he got in the car, drove to Florida, looking for another opportunity.
He got to work out with the Minnesota Twins, and they like what they saw despite the fact that he didn't throw hard. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Well, he got Cabrera that time. 2 gone. Hey, ride your motorcycle to Comerica Park and see the Tigers battle the Oakland A's on August 28th at 7:08. Get free motorcycle parking and a Tigers Bike Night t-shirt with a special ticket package. Visit tigers.com/bike night to order. Now Prince Fielder with 2 outs. Third strikeout for Albers. Fielder looks at ball 1 high. Prince had a single back in the second, tried to stretch it to a double, and was out by a wide margin.
20 home runs for the Prince. 8th consecutive season he's hit 20 or more homers.
And he takes a strike on the outer edge. Most of those seasons, Prince did not stop at 20. He went well beyond. 50 with the Brewers several years back in 2007.
50 or 50?
I beg your pardon, 50. 119 driven in that year. Here's the 1-1, and it's inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tigers looking to take their first lead. They've tied it up here in the third. On Brian Holliday's first major league homer and first major league RBI. Drill down the right field line, base hit. That'll get a run in. Fielder with a 2-out RBI single. The Tigers get it done again with 2 outs.
Prince Fielder basically today is 2 for 2, and he's taken the same fastball and done 2 different things with it. The same fastball he got his first time up, he hit this one to right center field. This time he gets the fastball inside, he turns on it down the right field line. excuse me, first time up he went left center on that same fastball. So he's got the same fastball, but he's hit it in two different spots.
That'll be his 88th RBI.
Another 2-out run. Tigers, all the runs they scored yesterday came with 2 outs.
This time Jackson comes around to score. Martinez takes one on the outer edge, 0-1.
Well, when Jackson gets on base, good things happen. Since he's come to the big leagues, and their winning percentage is above 700 as far as a percentage when Austin touches home plate.
Here's the 0-1. In the air, shallow center field. Clee Thomas coming in to retire the side. Tigers, however, get a couple of runs. The first on the first big league home run for Brian Holiday. 2-1 Detroit. Tigers have taken their first lead of the afternoon. Lickety split, as a matter of fact. 2-1 is our score. Home run by Holiday, who celebrates his first big league homer. And then an RBI single by Prince. Verlander goes to work with his first lead of the day. Josh Willingham starts it off. Willingham, then Doman, and then Plouffe. JV now has retired 9 of the last 10 he has faced. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Willingham struck out back in the first. A couple of strikeouts in that inning for JV. Ball inside, and now 3-0. He is taking that is inside. He walked in ball 4. Leadoff man on. See, first walk of the game now for Verlander. Here's Ryan Doman. Justin came in with some really gaudy numbers at home over his career. He's 41 over the 500 mark at home. 71 and 30 at Comerica Park lifetime. And the bunt is popped back into the seats.
He's been the best pitcher in baseball for quite some time. 200 innings every year. Back-to-back strikeout titles. Cy Young MVP just a couple of years ago and finished second to David Price in the Cy Young voting last year. So he's been awfully good.
Dropped that one in nicely. Breaking ball, 0-2.
little bender at about 76 miles an hour.
Verlander in his last start went 8 against the Royals, gave up just 2 runs, but the Tigers lost that game 2-1. Lifted in the air, shallow center field, and it's going to drop out of the reach of Infante. They almost got a force at second base.
That's too bad that Justin Verlander made such a really good pitch there to Dozier. A changeup that was down that looked like it was going to be an out, but looked like Infante shied away from the baseball because he was in fear of maybe some contact there with Austin Jackson.
Bloop single for Dozier. That'll be the 4th hit of the game now for Minnesota. 2 on, nobody out. That'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe flying out to center, his only time 0 for 1.
Trevor Plouffe about right now a little upset with himself. He took that first pitch fastball from Justin Verlander right down the middle. He's going to get those sliders and curveballs now on the outside part of the plate.
Fouled straight back.
Went right back in there with another fastball.
Well, he's almost assuredly now going to see something with a wrinkle in it, isn't he?
Well, he's a dead pull hitter. We've well documented that since Plouffe has come to the big leagues. And if you want to get him out, you probably should pitch him away. If you want the strikeout, if you want contact, maybe a double play, you go back inside. You jam him, see if he'll hit something weakly in the infield. But if you want the strikeout, the best way to get the strikeout is with a breaking ball, slider variety.
Fouled back out of play. Another fastball from JV. Plouffe unable to put it in play. No balls, 2 strikes. Tigers 2 runs, 6 hits today. The Twins a run on 4 hits. Verlander had a 9-pitch 1-2-3 third. Swing and a miss. Nothing but fastballs to Plouffe.
That last fastball was up and away from Trevor Plouffe at 95 miles an hour.
Third strikeout for JV. 1 out in the 4th, and now Clete Thomas will stand in. Foul tip into the glove, 0-1.
Verlander was pitching in a little stress back in the first inning. They had already scored 1 run. They had a runner standing at second base, but he struck out the next 2 batters. Kind of looking like Justin Verlander of 2012.
Now it's 0-2.
Seemed like if Verlander allowed a runner to get to second or third with less than 2 outs, he simply put his foot on the gas pedal. And on many occasions, that runner would just stay stranded at second or third base.
Really was impressive. Here's the 0-2. And he went around. Strike 3. So Thomas is out of there. Four strikeouts now for Justin Verlander. He comes back to whiff Plouffe and Thomas, and now here is Wilkin Ramirez.
2 really good fastballs to Clete Thomas, and then he followed that up with an outstanding slider.
Ramirez reaching on a fielder's choice his first time up. Fastball in, 1-0.
That last slider to Thomas stayed on the fastball plane until it got about 5 feet from home plate. Then all of a sudden, boom, the bottom just fell out of it.
Check swing, little pop up back to second, gonna drop, base hit.
You gotta be kidding me.
That is gonna tie the game on an excuse me swing by Wilkin Ramirez. 2-2 ball game. That'll be his 6th RBI.
Not a bad pitch. Yeah, but Wilkin Ramirez is able to reach out there and put the ball in play out of the reach of Infante.
So a couple of bloops in this inning. Ramirez knocks one in. Here is Bernier. And he skies one in the air to center. There's Jackson backing up. And that'll be it for Minnesota. However, Verlander gives up a run on a fluke single by Wilkin Ramirez. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth, all tied at 2. Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's brand turkey club today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Overcast afternoon here in the Motor City. The Tigers and Twins all knotted at 2 runs apiece. A bloop single off the bat of Wilkin Ramirez. A check swing single ties it up. And so the Tigers go back to work here in the 4th inning. Matt Tuiasosopo leads it off. Sends a ground ball to short. Bernier backs up on it from the grass. He'll throw him out. 1 gone. Tui now is 0 for 2. We'll bring up Infante. Make that 0 for 2 for Matt. Infante had a single back in the 2nd. 313 average now for Omar. Albers missing outside 1-0. Omar, a couple of hits in the series. Tigers actually had 3 hits in the 2nd, but couldn't get a run in. Had a runner thrown out at second base. There's a drive caught on a leap by Brian Dozier. Nice play. Infante scalds one. They make a leaping play, and a couple of bloops get a run in for the Twins. Baseball, as you like to say, can be a funny game.
No doubt about that. And 1 step to the left, and Dozier elevates. It takes away what would have been the 2nd single of the afternoon from Infante.
There's a ball high to Iglesias. Struck out looking back in the 2nd. And now batting .323. Bouncing ball, diving stop at first by Morneau. He'll tag the bag himself. Then a quick 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Albers. This series, and I want to take a look at JV's seesaw season, and it really has been up and down when you look at some of the numbers so far this year. Verlander has gone through stretches where he's been really good, and other stretches where the numbers have been elevated a bit,
which is very unusual for him, because coming into this year, I don't think there was one person out there that follows the game of baseball that didn't believe that he was the best pitcher on the planet. But this year has been challenging for the Tigers right-hander.
Well, he's back to the hill. He gave up a bloop single in the 4th inning to tie the game. It's 2-2 as we go to the 5th. And JV missing high to Brian Dozier. Herman and then Morneau to follow. Dozier had a single and scored a run to start the game. Missed it low, 2-0. We were talking last time he was up about Dozier being from a small town, Fulton, Mississippi. Not too many scouts came to his games. There's only about 4,000 people in Fulton. But he ended up going to Southern Miss. A lot of the bigger schools, I guess, never saw him play in high school, so they did not recruit him. And Dozier, here he is in the major leagues. 7-game hitting streak right now. The 2-1 pitch. Popped up. Left side of the infield. Cabrera straddling the line, and one gone. So a 1-for-3 afternoon now for Dozier. Now Chris Herman. Temperature's actually gone up a couple of degrees. It's now 85 here at the yard. Herman doubled in a run in the first. He is 1-for-2. He is a University of Miami product. And he sends one back up the middle into center. Base hit. Second hit of the game now for Mr. Herman. Time for the AT&T trivia question here this afternoon. Who are the top 3 home run hitters in Twins history? The top 3 home run hitters Twins history. Justin Morneau right now is currently 4th on that list, so if you were going to guess Justin, do not do it. He is 0-for-2 in this game. Strikeout, flyout.
Killer has to be on that list, right?
I would think so.
How can someone that was as mild and mannered as Harmon Killebrew take on the nickname of Killer?
I don't know.
He was one of the nicest men you ever want to meet.
Maybe between the lines, not so much.
He wasn't very nice between the lines. Killer was his nickname.
Morneau, 19 RBIs this month. Speaking of Killebrew, he is the only Twin that has a higher slugging percentage career than Justin Morneau.
These may be the final days that he spends in a Minnesota Twins uniform. He is a free agent after this year, and his representatives, they went to Terry Ryan in spring training. They wanted to see if they could work out a deal for the future, and the Minnesota Twins were not ready to talk at that time. Said we'd revisit it after the season was over.
Well, and I guess you can't blame him. When he was coming off the concussion injury, and the numbers certainly had not been where they were when he was an MVP earlier in his career. But really, when you look at his numbers and where they will be at the end of this season, they'll be pretty good. He's got 72 RBIs right now.
Well, he's put himself in a position to where there's going to be some other teams that will be interested. And it's going to be up to him to make that decision on whether he wants to leave the squad that he spent the first 11 years in the big leagues with, or if he wants to go to a team that might contend next year.
How much of that decision for the average big league player is based on comfort of being with an organization your entire career, as opposed to maybe getting some more money elsewhere?
Not only comfort for him, but also comfort for your family. I mean, you're going to go where you're comfortable as far as your family and where they want to be. I don't think Justin Morneau is one of those guys that would chase the most dollars. He's made quite a bit of money.
Full count, 3-2 on Morneau.
He's been a model citizen in that Minnesota Twins uniform.
And for so many years, we've talked about the M&M boys, Mauer and Morneau. 3-2 runner goes, and it's a ball high. They will appeal. He did not go. It's a walk. Holiday was throwing through anyway, like you should. And Morneau gets a walk. Second walk of the game now for JV. Here's Josh Willingham. 2 on and 1 out. Twins trying to recapture the lead. It's a 2-2 game in the 5th. Fouled back out of play. Willingham last year hit 35 home runs. He's had knee problems, which has kept him out, well, about a month this year. And that has cut into his numbers. The 0-1. Fly ball. Shallow right field. Long run Hunter, and it's going to drop. Foul. The way things are going, I'm surprised that didn't drop in fair. Just outside of the white line.
And Torrey Hunter playing well over in right center field, which meant he had a long way to go. And that one only about 4 inches to the foul side of that chalk line.
No balls, 2 strikes on Josh Willingham. Twins RBIs today. Herman with a double, knocked one in. Wilkin Ramirez a single, knocked one in as well. Checked it, and he did not go. Ryan O'Nora down there at first base. 23 pitch first for Verlander. That has been his longest. He's up to 70 now. Good block by Holiday.
Wasn't it Brian O'Nora who's behind the plate last Sunday in Boston when Ryan Dempster threw at Alex Rodriguez?
I believe it was.
Dempster said he did not do it intentionally, but he got himself a nice lengthy suspension.
Were you buying that?
No. He was just pitching inside.
Yeah,
just trying to get in on it.
Oh, that one just missed. Well, you can tell when JV gets frustrated with certain calls. He's got that little extra stare in, and he thought he had that one there. And he wanted it badly. Now it's 3-2. Popped up and back to the seats it goes. Verlander came into this game among the league leaders in strikeouts. He was ranked 6th, actually 7th in the American League with 160 punch-outs, which is about 8.5 per 9 innings. But he's been limited in that regard to 4 today. Got him, strike 3. Willingham didn't like that one. 2 gone.
After a steady diet of off-speed pitches to Willingham, Verlander reached back to get a little extra. 96 with his fastball, and it looked like Verlander may have gotten the benefit of the doubt on that call. It is borderline at best.
Ooh, yeah, best is right. So Willingham may have gotten a call earlier in the count, but that one goes to JV, and there are 2 outs. Ball 1 to Ryan Doman. Verlander coming into today had struck out 6 or more in each of his last 4 starts. Got 5 now this afternoon. Rolled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dozier a single and a ground out. 2 runs, 6 hits for both teams today. Driven high in the air, deep into right field. Hunter going back to the track. He looks up, and that ball is going to go. It's out of here. Dozier has hit a 3-run shot with 2 outs to give the Twins the lead. And he hit it to the gap in right center. It's deep out there in right center, and Hunter can only watch it fly.
And he did most of this damage by himself because Verlander flipped a curveball up there at about 77 miles an hour in a huge swing by Dozier. And he made contact, and I mean he made huge contact.
Five to 2 ball game. And Dozier has just hit his 11th and just his 2nd since the All-Star break. There's a ground ball base hit to left.
It is just so odd to have watched this year. And we just put it up there. The seesaw season of Justin Verlander. And to watch a guy that has this kind of skill set give up as many crooked numbers as he's given up this year.
Well, we often talk about a lot of times it comes down to location. I mean, can you simplify it that much?
I don't know exactly what it is, but man, he's had a lot of starts this year where he's given up 5, 6 runs.
He has had 3 starts this year in which he's given up 10 or more hits. He's given up 8 in this ball game today. Big swing there by Cleet Thomas. 0-1. Dozier was 0 for 11 coming in against Verlander today.
And he had bloop single his last time up that got over the head of Infante. Then he played, put his big boy pants on for that last one.
Single for 2 for Thomas. Three-run shot by Ryan Dozier, and it comes with 2 outs after a single by Herman, a walk to Morneau. Action in the Detroit bullpen. There's a fly ball toward left field. Tuiasosopo is on the run. He'll get there. Inning is over. 3 runs into the homer, and you're watching Tigers baseball today. Presented by Bell Tire. a few minutes ago, who are the top 3 home run hitters in Twins history? Morneau is 4th on that list. Top 3 are Killebrew, Herbeck, and Tony Oliva.
Sweet swing, Tony Oliva.
220 in his career. Here are the top 5. You got Morneau and then Bob Allison. Between Killebrew and Allison, 1 through 5. Could be gap from top to bottom. Well, the Tigers need to go to work now. They're down by 3, 5-2 as we play in the bottom of the 5th.
A lot of baseball to be played here. Albers is not overpowering, although he has held his own against the best offense in baseball. But the Tigers are averaging over 5 runs a game, which is the best in the majors.
Last at bat, Brian Holiday hit his first major league home run.
And then the majority of his teammates gave him the silent treatment when he got back to the dugout, which is not an odd thing when a guy hits his first big league homer.
Pretty typical. There's a strike call, 2-1.
They're having a lot of fun. They've got a first place club. They're very loose down there, led by their skipper, Jim Leland.
Albers ready with the 2-1 pitch. And it missed outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Austin Jackson, the leadoff man, waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play. 3-2 on Brian Holiday.
Here's his first big league homer back in the 3rd inning if you missed it.
And then the old silent treatment. Anyone? Anyone? We're just kidding. We'll get down the right field line and back into the seats. Brian Holiday playing for Brian Pena today, who is out for the 2nd straight game after fouling a pitch off his toe. Although Pena could play today. Three-2. Walked him, leadoff man on. A walk to the number 9 hitter to start the inning. Now Jackson. Over the years, this Minnesota team has been one of the better visiting teams in this ballpark since it opened up in 2000. Only the White Sox have won more games in this ballpark as a visiting club. Chicago's won 63. The Twins have won 61 here. Tigers have won the majority of the games, though, this season between the 2 clubs here. 6 of 9. And they'll get away from the catcher. Did it hit him?
Yep.
So a hit by pitch will put 2 runners on. Nobody out. Albers, meanwhile, is heading into the meat of the Tigers lineup.
And Jim Leland was talking about Torrey Hunter before the game, and this is a classic at bat last night against Kevin Correa. You could see every single pitch that Torrey Hunter got from Correa. He was trying to hit the ball the other way. And once he got ahead with 2 strikes, he went into emergency mode. That last ball he fouled off before the base hit to right field to drive in 2 was a great pitch by Correa, but somehow Torrey was able to foul that one off before he got something that he could handle.
He looks at strike 1.
Those same 2 gentlemen that were on base in the 7th inning last night are on base right now in the 5th inning, Holiday and Jackson.
Torrey had a sacrifice in his last at bat. 0 for 1 otherwise. Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Torrey Hunter. That 2-hit game he had last night was his 45th multi-hit game of the season. Been in the top 10 in that category most of the year. Adrian Beltre of the Rangers now has 50 multi-hit games, which leads the AL. Swing and a miss, and Torrey goes down, 1 away.
We told you that Albers stays under the speed limit with most of the pitches that he throws, and that was the case with that 65 mile-per-hour curveball that had Torrey out in front.
So here is Cabrera, 1 swing of the bat away from tying this one up. Miggy at 427 with the bases, or with runners on base.
He has come right after Miggy with a lot of 86 mile-per-hour fastballs.
Here's another one. 0-1. Strikeout flyout for Cabrera in this game.
And Miguel asking the home plate umpire Bill Welke, was that last pitch I swung at a strike?
Checked it. Ooh, he went around. So says Brian O'Nora.
Good call by Brian O'Nora.
Fouled away. Cabrera in his career, get this, he's played in 108 games against Minnesota in his career. He's knocked in 101 runs in the 108 games. I mean, that's just massive production.
Contact to damage ratio off the charts.
123 RBIs this year overall. Again, the 0-2. Line drive caught by the shortstop. Quick flip, and they almost got the double play. 2 gone. That'll bring up the Prince. Been a good day so far for Fielder. 2 singles and RBI. 88 driven in now for Prince. Day or night, he's in the lineup. Day games after night game, doesn't matter. Fielder is always in there. Prince now has played in 470 consecutive games. Drives one to the shortstop on 1 hop. And Bernier will tag the back for the out. Tigers do not score. Twins have got some pretty good defense in this game. Dozier with a leaping play earlier. Big blow, the home run by Ryan Doman, a 3-run shot, and that's the difference. Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tigers let an opportunity go by the wayside. They had 2 men on with nobody out in the 5th inning, but Almer is getting Hunter, Cabrera, and Fielder, and so it stays a 5-2 ball game. Wilkin Ramirez will lead it off against Justin Verlander as we go to the 6th here this afternoon. Ramirez 1 out of 2 RBI single on a check swing back in the 4th. There's a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Six-game streak now for Wilkin Ramirez, the former Tigers prospect. Ooh, up and in, had him backing out of the way. Ramirez, when he came up with the Tigers a couple of years ago, homered for his first major league hit here at Comerica. He's going to smoke that one foul way down the left field line. 1-2 on Ramirez. Always had the physical skills that were extremely impressive in the minor leagues. Big guy that can run. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tigers just traded away a guy that was thought of to be the same as Wilkin Ramirez and Avisail Garcia. Both 5-tool players.
I think before it's all said and done, that trade's going to turn out to be really good for both teams. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ramirez is out. 1 gone here in the 6th. Hey, the Tigers host the Oakland A's at Comerica Park on August 27th, 7:08 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Tigers Pitcher's K floppy hat. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. There it is. Pretty cool looking hat.
It's been a while since we've seen the swinging A's. We made the first road trip of the year out to Oakland, didn't we?
We did. That was way back at the start of the year. There's a strike called on Doug Bernier. Swinging A's. 2.5 back at Texas out in the West. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 5 runs, 8 hits today for the Twins. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Tigers. And both teams today have stranded 5 men. Off the end of the bat foul. 1-2 on Doug Bernier.
Tigers stranded 11 base runners yesterday, somehow able to win that game against Minnesota.
Yeah, they got away with it. They had 13 hits. As you look at the numbers on JV, 5 earned runs in 5 1/3, 6 strikeouts. Again, Verlander with a little bit of a stare in there after that last pitch. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's pulled on the ground at third off the glove of Cabrera into left field. And Bernier is on with a 1-out hit. Time now for a game break. We check in with Justin White. Well, the Dodgers something else. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, they had lost 2 in a row before taking that lead today.
74-52 record for LA. Here is Dozier. Lines 1 to left. That's going to get down and roll all the way to the corner. This might get another run in. Here comes Bernier rounding third. They send him home, and he will score. Sliding, he could have scored standing up. It'll go as a double and an RBI for Dozier, his second hit today.
Yeah, that's a fastball at 93 miles an hour that Justin tried to get in on Dozier. We've well documented the fact that Dozier is a dead pull hitter, and he can turn on a fastball, which he does.
And that is the 10th hit
As a matter of fact, that location of that pitch was supposed to be on the outside corner. Justin missed with his location.
52 RBIs now this year for Dozier. 28th double of the year.
He looks a lot more comfortable at second base than he did shortstop. And he's hitting the baseball a whole lot better than he did last year before they sent him down to the minor leagues. And when the season was over last year in the minor leagues, they didn't call him back up.
It seems sometimes, and I guess Alex Gordon is a good example of this, that comfort defensively can translate into good offensive numbers.
Great point.
There's a bluff to second. Herman at the plate.
Xfinity high-speed pitch this afternoon so far for Justin Verlander. Top velocity fastball, 96 miles an hour.
On the outer edge, a strike. Action again in the Detroit bullpen. Jose Alvarez recently called up when Phil Coke was sent down. And Al Albuquerque.
Alvarez, good numbers against left-handers in limited time up here in the big leagues.
Runner breaks for third, and it's grounded foul. He might have made that standing up. 0-2 on Chris Herman. Fouled back out of play. It's one area the Tigers have needed to improve on, and that's stolen base attempts against them. They are, or their opponents at least, have been successful 81% of the time, which is the second highest percentage in the major leagues. That's rolled foul.
I wonder how much of that is a byproduct of the Tigers striking out so many batters this year. I mean, if you're Jeff Jones and you're Jim Leland, you'd love for your pitchers to do a better job of shutting down the opponent's running game, but they strike out so many batters. I'm wondering if there's a byproduct to that.
Could be. Never thought of that angle. But we always say that, how many times is really a base stolen off the catcher? Most of the times it is stolen off the pitcher. There he goes. And it's lined to center field, straight at Jackson. Quick throw back to second, and he just got back in there.
That is a nice job by Joe Vavra, the third base coach. After Dozier took off at third base, he was alerted by the third base coach. The ball was in the air and it was in center field, and you need to hurry up and get back to second base, and he barely got back.
Two down for Morneau. With first base open, he will get a free pass. It'll be his second walk of the game, this one intentional. And they will go after the right-hander waiting on deck, Josh Willingham. Six runs on 10 hits in this ball game for Minnesota. Tigers 2 runs, 6 hits. So this game today will be the 4th game this year that the opponent has gotten at least 10 hits against a start by Justin Verlander. The intentional walk is complete. Now Willingham. Two strikeouts and a walk today for Willingham. He's also scored a run. And trying to add to the 6-2 lead. Swing and a miss. .215 average this year for Willingham. Here's the 0-1. In the air, right field. This will be playable for Torrey Hunter, who's under it, and that'll end the inning. On our way to the bottom of the 6th. Tigers down 6-2. Two in favor of Minnesota. Bottom of the 6th inning on tap here. And the Tigers here in the home half of the 6th inning have Victor Martinez, Matt Tuiasosopo, and then Omar Infante. Meanwhile, Albers allowing just the 2 runs in the 3rd. That pretty much been it. Tigers have been able to get to him a little bit. They stranded a couple of runners in the 5th but could not score. We'll see what Victor can do to start things off in the 6th. And he takes a strike, 0-1.
Albers came in 2 wins, 1 loss, and an ERA that is under 2. And the Tigers hitters are getting a chance to see what the other 3 teams that he has gone up against were facing. A lot of fastballs, well located fastballs, although the velocity doesn't get above 87 miles an hour.
Meanwhile, it's 0-2 now on Victor Martinez. As Albers has been quoted as saying, my best pitch is strike 1. Here's the 0-2. It'll bounce in, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Kind of reminds you of a guy like Jamie Moyer, Tom Glavine, Bruce Chen, who the Tigers just saw on Sunday, also would fall into the same type of category as far as the pitches that they throw and the velocity that they feature, as Albers does.
And the 1-2. Rope foul down the left field line. Victor's just hitting everything hard these days. Flat out the center, back in 3rd, singled in the 2nd. We were talking earlier about earlier yesterday during the game that Victor may catch one of the games against the New York Mets over the weekend in an effort to get his bat in the lineup. He has been so good.
New York Metropolitans are off tonight. They will wait for the Tigers to get to New York for that ball game tomorrow night.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Citi Field to play the Mets and back home. Two balls, 2 strikes.
We were just in the Bronx. What was it, a couple of weeks ago when we were in New York? This time we're headed to Queens.
That's a different train, isn't it?
I believe so. I won't be on it, that's for sure.
It's the 4 train to Yankee Stadium. I'm not sure what the train is to Citi Field. We'll have to check that out.
Just make sure you don't get on that 4.
That driven to right field. Got right at Doman. 1 gone. Hey, by the way, you can join us tomorrow. The Tigers head to New York to take on the Mets. Coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers and Mets tomorrow right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Michigan native Terry Collins, the skipper of the New York Mets. And Terry Collins once worked for Jim Leland in Pittsburgh. Here's Tuiasa Sopo. Ball 1-2. Strikeout, ground out for Matt, who in the first half this year was batting .329, but since the All-Star break just .167. He has leveled off a bit. That's in for a strike. 1-1. Seven home runs, career high for Tuiasa Sopo. Big swing there, 1-2. Tigers, for the most part today, have been kept off balance by Andrew Albers. Two balls, two strikes. Since Matt has that family history in the NFL, his dad Manu was a defensive lineman with the Seahawks. Maybe I should hit him up for some fantasy football advice, or maybe advice on hitting home runs. That's down the line, and it is foul, just foul. He just got out in front of that one and almost kept it fair.
It's all about pitch sequence. Albers had thrown Tuiasa Sopo a lot of fastballs all afternoon long. Finally, he makes a mistake with a breaking ball, and because Tuiasa Sopo was looking for that fastball, he was a little bit out in front of that hanging breaking ball out of the hand of Albers.
Not a lot of space between that ball and the foul pole. That would have been his 8th home run. Off the end of the bat to the first baseman. That's a fair ball. Morneau steps on the bag. 2 gone. That's going to leave it up to Omar Infante.
Looked like this ball was headed foul. Morneau thought as much. Tuiasa Sopo thought as much as well. Looked like it may have hit the cut of the grass and then bounced back into fair territory.
Or a poorly placed rock. One of the two. Here's Omar. There's a strike, going 1.
And here's what Tuiasa Sopo was looking at. See the English on that ball. You can see it spinning.
One ball, one strike. .87 total pitches now for Andrew Albers. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm telling the story about Albers, and now he had to try or get his tryout driving down to Florida. So look at his pitch speed range. He also underwent Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, and then had to have another procedure on the same elbow. That's to the shortstop. Verlander makes a nice play, but not in time. 2-out infield hit for Infante.
Good to see Omar Infante starting to move a little bit better. He spent a month on the disabled list with that bad ankle. And Verlander goes over in the hole. He backhands it. He takes his time, makes a firm throw over to Morneau at first base, but not before Infante was able to sniff out that knock.
Yeah, he sure did sniff that out. It'll be his 2nd hit of the day, 3rd hit of the series. And it keeps the inning going now for Iglesias. Ball 1 inside. Albers, I guess, Rod, has been a breath of fresh air for a Twins team that really has struggled to put a rotation together this year.
And really, if you think about Albers, he pitches the same way that so many Twins have pitched over the years. He's a strike thrower. He works fast, gets lots of ground balls, keeps his team in games. And they've had a lot of pitchers like that over the years. Very seldom have they had a dominant starter like they had a few years ago in Johan Santana.
Here's the 1-1. It is a ball inside. 2-1 on Iglesias. Justin Verlander roughed up for 6 runs today, including a 3-run homer by Ryan Doman in the 5th. The 2-1. Driven to left field. Ball is hit well, and it is off the wall. Infante will go to third and stop there. It's a 2-base hit for Jose Iglesias. Tigers showing some life here with 2 outs in the 6th.
Iglesias has had a big series against the Minnesota Twins. Fastball up, ripped off the gate in left field, played perfectly off the wall by Wilkin Ramirez.
5 for 10 in the series for Iglesias. Rick Anderson comes out to give Albers a breather here. Albers had retired the first 2 batters, then an infield hit, and now a double. FansMLB.com at bat is celebrating 5 years as your #1 mobile app for live baseball. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com. Josh Renicky is warming up in the Twins bullpen. Base hit delivers 2 here. Holiday's been on base twice in this game, homer and a walk. First big league home run came back in the 3rd, a solo shot. Now the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holiday on that 1 swing not only picked up his first homer, but his first big league RBI as well. Ground ball back up the middle. Diving stop it short by Vernier, and he will throw late. That'll get a run in. Could not grab the handle, and by the time he did, Holiday beat it out.
Great effort here by Bernier. He covers a lot of ground, and had he been able to glove this ball, he would have gotten that out. At first base, Tigers would have been turned away. He would have bailed Albers out right here. Right off the heel of the glove. Tip of the glove, I should say.
It's going to be it for Albers. He was that close to getting out of the inning. Instead, he will depart, having given up 3 runs, responsible for the 2 men on the bases. Wallside windows pitching change. We shall return.
Mario just told you that Brian Halladay hit his first big league homer. That happened in the third inning here. Prince Fielder also came to the plate in that same inning, and he got his second hit of the day against their starter, Andrew Albers. It was a solid single to right field. Wilkin Ramirez with a check swing. He was able to plate one, but the biggest blow of the afternoon off the bat of Ryan Doman. He got a hanging breaking ball from Verlander, hit it over the out-of-town scoreboard, and Dozier, their leadoff hitter, also got in the act. The very next half inning with a double down the left field corner. He drove in the 6th run of the afternoon for the Minnesota Twinkies.
And it's been a big day for the Twins offensively. For the Tigers, a bit of an uprising now as Josh Renicky takes over from the bullpen.
He's rare. Renicky, he's one of those guys that pitches out of the bullpen and pitches meaningful innings, and he's got 4 pitches: fastball, curve, slider, and the changeup. Fastball gets to 93 miles an hour.
And he'll deliver a strike to Austin Jackson. Renicky for Albers. Jackson in the game, a single hit by pitch as well.
Renicky's dad, Gary, played in the big leagues. Spent a lot of time in Baltimore. His uncle, Ron Renicky, is the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. So baseball runs deep in his family.
Jackson drives one in the air, deep into left field. Ramirez back. He looks up. It is gone. Austin Jackson has gone deep.
Austin Jackson gets a hanging breaking ball from Josh Renicky. It's a knuckle curveball, and he drills it into the left field seats for a 3-run homer. We are now tied, and Austin Jackson is on fire right now. He is 9 of his last 16.
Jackson was hitting just .241 in the second half. But that stretch you talked about, he is really heating up. 6-6 game. And Torrey looks at a ball high.
And just like that, Albers gets out of here with a no decision.
And not only that, but he is charged with 5 of these 6 Tigers runs. Ball high from Renicky. Now it goes 3-0. Nine for 17 with a homer and 4 runs scored over his last 4 games. Renicky had not allowed a run to the Tigers over 4 1/3 in relief this year. That stat goes bye-bye. 4 runs, 6th inning. Tigers have tied it up at 6. Fouled back out of play. 3-2 on Torrey.
It's amazing to me how many runs this Tigers offense able to score after 2 are out. They just don't give away their at-bats. Well, there you have it. No one better in the big leagues.
5 of the 6 runs today have come with 2 outs.
All 7 yesterday. All 7.
Halladay is homered in this game. Jackson is homered in this game. Verlander giving up 6, but his teammates have supported him today. High and inside, ball 4. 2 out, nobody on. The Tigers get an infield hit, and that got it rolling.
This crowd has come to life.
Bring up Cabrera, and Casey Fiend now starting to heat up. 0 for 3 for Miguel in this game. Each team now with 10 hits. Swing and a miss there by Cabrera. 0-1. Fastball from Renicky.
What's that on Cabby's right leg? Is that blood?
Let's see, he was having a juicy box between innings.
I guess it may have happened when he dove for that ball last half inning, because he hasn't been on base yet.
Ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Might have had a scab on there already, and when he dove for that ball off the bat of Trevor Plouffe, that hit off his glove and trickled into right field. That's where he may have opened up that scab, I would imagine.
Well, it's real noticeable. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Miguel Cabrera. 6-6 game. Brand new contest. The Tigers were down 6-2 coming into this bottom of the 6th inning. They knocked Albers out of the game. A 3-run shot against Renicky. Verlander has new life. JV has thrown 104 pitches so far in this game. Fouled away again. Hunter at first with 2 outs. Off the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Opponents came in batting just 196 against Renicky. Here's the 2-2. All the way again. Renicky last year pitched almost 90 innings in relief. That led all major league relievers. Fielder lurking on deck. Renicky trying to navigate through the middle of the Tigers lineup here. Ball high. Now it fills a 3-2. Ron Gardenhire has watched a 6-2 advantage disappear on the strength of a 3-run homer by Austin Jackson. Runner going on 3-2, swing and a miss to strike him out. Inning is over. However, the Tigers able to tie it up. They get 4 runs in the inning. 3 on 1 swing of the bat by AJ. 6-6 game. Detroit is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Back here in downtown Detroit, which all of a sudden got a whole lot sunnier, even though it is overcast. It is a 6-6 game. Sunny because the Tigers get 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin Jackson, a game-tying 3-run homer. And he's been absolutely on fire. And so it's a brand new game now as Ryan Doman steps in against Justin Verlander. JV 104 pitches through 6. Now the 7th inning is underway, and it's a strike called on Doman.
Yeah, Justin Verlander, his leash is a little bit longer than the other 4 Tiger starters, whether it be Fister, Sanchez, Porcello, or even Scherzer. And Jim, he will allow Verlander to go 120, 125 every start. No problem.
Yeah, that is not uncommon for Justin. The other guys, though, a little bit different. I know that Sanchez went 130 earlier this year, but that was the no-hitter he was in the process of trying to throw before it was broken up in the 9th.
And Verlander needs a shutdown inning here and score tied at 6. Get his squad back in the dugout and see if they can put another run on the board, which would give him the win here today.
Alvarez, Albuquerque still warming in the Detroit bullpen.
Doman hit a hanging breaking ball from Justin Verlander's last time up, hit it over the out-of-town scoreboard for a big homer. 3-run variety.
He'll be followed by Plouffe and then Thomas here in the 7th. Each ball club with 10 hits. Here's the 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball second base side. Infante. Doman is out, 1 gone. Now Trevor Plouffe. JV threw 124 in his last start. Not his season high, though. 126 was way back in April against Seattle. Plouffe looks at a strike, 0-1. Single in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Did not go. Here's the 1-1. Popped up, but it's headed back to the seats, out of play. Meanwhile, Casey Fiend still throwing in the Minnesota bullpen. Albers started, was taken out just in time for Renicky to give up the 3-run homer to Jackson. Two balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Trevor Plouffe the batter. Clee Thomas will be next. We're in the 7th inning in a 6-6 game. Here's the 2-2. That's in the air. Shallow left field. Iglesias going back. 2 gone. Verlander has gone better than 20 pitches 3 times in this game. Pitch count up to 115 now. Here's Thomas with 2 outs. Fouled back out of play. Tigers rolled into this game with a 5.5 game lead over Cleveland. KC 9.5 back. And once again starting to look like it's going to be the Tigers and Indians. The Royals had climbed back into it for a bit. Good breaking ball, strike called, 0-2.
Cleveland Indians can beat everybody except the Tigers.
Fortunately. Here's the 0-2. It's not easy to come in here to Detroit and beat the Tigers. The Tigers on their home field are 41-22 this year. And the 41 home wins is tied for the most in the American League. Tampa also has 41 home wins. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cleat Thomas. Fewest home losses. This is all of baseball here. Atlanta's only lost 18 times at home. Missed it inside. 3-2. Wilkin Ramirez on deck if Thomas were to reach. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias backs up. Thomas is out. 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. Time to stretch. Tigers fighting back here today. A pair of home run balls. Ryan Holiday, Austin Jackson. 6-6 game. Afternoon, it's Benintendi. 6-6 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Domet 2 out of 4 for the Twins. 3-run shot. Jackson not to be outdone. He's hit a big home run in this game. Last 4 games 9 for 17. And Brian Holiday has hit his first career home run. His first 2 RBIs as well at the major league level. And JV now urging his teammates to get some runs here. 121 pitches for Justin Verlander. Now we'll see what the Tigers can do here. It'll be Prince Fielder to start things off. And a wall-side windows pitching change. Casey Fiend will come on.
Couple different fastballs for Fiend. Fastball, one of them gets to 93. That would be the 4-seam fastball. He also cuts the fastball, and he gives you a lot of sliders as well.
RBI single for Prince. He is 2 for 3 in this ball game today. And a strike on the outer edge. 6 runs on 10 hits for the visiting Twins. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Tigers. Prince now at 261. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Have you ever seen the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall?
A long time ago.
Prince's walk-up song is Soul Glow right now.
Is it really?
It is. And guess where we're going when we leave here? To New York. They made that movie in the Queens.
Wow.
How about that?
Symmetry. It's all coming together. Prince been all over the map with his walk-up tunes this year.
Soul Glow. You remember the brother that had that Jip and Jerry curl, right?
There's a strike, 2-2.
That was a funny movie.
Listen to this. He's gone from Requiem to Soul Glow.
He's all over the map.
Seriously. All over the map.
It's perfect.
2-2 on Prince. Martinez to follow. And a ball high, run it full now, 3-2. Casey Fiend, former Tiger. A lot of former Tigers on this team. Fiend, Thomas, Ramirez.
A lot of former Tigers in baseball.
Now the 3-2. High, towering fly ball. It'll stay in the ballpark, though. He got under it. Domit is camping. One away.
We're going to make that our bail tire pitch by pitch. And Casey Fiend gets ahead of Prince Fielder with strike one and then kind of falls behind, and he's working himself into a dangerous count, which was 3-2. And Prince Fielder nearly hit his 21st home run of this season.
Here's Victor Martinez. He is 1 for 3. Couple of fly balls his last 2 times up. Ball 1. Victor now batting .286. That's in the air toward left. Not deep enough as Wilkin Ramirez comes over. 2 up and 2 down. There is action in the Detroit bullpen. It would be the Smiley-Rondon connection. Opponents this year batting .229 against the Twins bullpen. Tuiasosopo will stay in and bat even with the right-hander Fiend out there. It's a strike call.
And Leland going to give Tuiasosopo an opportunity to see if he can run into one against Casey Fiend. He's homered 7 times this year.
Back up the middle, base hit instead. 2-out single. This is where the Tigers do their best work, apparently, with 2 outs. All 4 of their runs scored with 2 outs in the 6th.
Torrey Hunter trying to get Justin Verlander to smile. He finally got one out of him.
JV needed a lot of help from his teammates today and got it. The Tigers 6 runs on 11 hits now. There's a strike called on Infante. Omar had an infield single, and that started the rally in the 6th inning. He's 2 out of 3 today. Lifted to center, shallow. Thomas, diving play out in center field. The 2nd time he's done that in this series. No runs to hit. One man left. On to the 8th we go.
That Cleek Thomas has made that has pretty much allowed the Tigers to stay off the board. He made one on Tuesday. He made another one here today, and it was Cleek Thomas took one step back, coming in, making a really nice grab.
Thomas measuring it and snatching it right before it hits the turf. Well, he's done that a couple times. Former Tiger coming back to Comerica Park to help his new team. Meanwhile, we go to the 8th inning. And Bruce Rondon takes over now for Detroit. Verlander done after 7. 121 pitches today for JV.
Rondon with that big arm. Fastball goes anywhere from 97 to 102. And nice slider and a pretty good changeup.
Wilkin Ramirez, an RBI single back in the 4th inning off Verlander. And he pours in a fastball that missed. 2 balls, no strikes on Ramirez. 6 runs, 11 Detroit hits in this game. 6 runs, 10 Minnesota hits, and both teams have stranded 7 men today.
Well, if you're Wilkin Ramirez, you know you're pretty much going to get a fastball here, and it's going to be in the mid to upper 90s. We'll see if he can catch up to it.
Driven deep to center field. Jackson backing up, still going back. Track, wall to make the catch. 420 to dead center.
Well, Rondon got the benefit of being in a big ballpark here this afternoon, because he did throw Wilkin Ramirez the fastball that was right down the middle, and Wilkin Ramirez was waiting for it. Really short, quick swing, and you don't need to have a big swing when a guy throws as hard as Rondon does.
One gone in the 8th. Here's Doug Bernier, the number 9 hitter. Missing ball 1. Single fly ball pop up for Bernier today. Get back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers in the bottom of the 8th will have Iglesias, Holiday, and Jackson due up. Both starters out of the game. This one to be decided by the bullpens. Rondon ready with the 1-1. Fastball high.
Rondon struggled just a little bit in the month of July. But in August, he has been tremendous. As a matter of fact, no blemishes as far as the earned run average is concerned. 9 innings pitched. A total of 7 games for the big right-hander.
Got his first major league win on August the 4th against Chicago. 2-1, busting him inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Tigers minor league pitcher of the year last season when he amassed 29 saves. 3 different levels: A-ball, Double-A, Triple-A. And he walked him. 1 on, 1 out. Hey, Star Wars night on September the 14th when the Tigers host the Royals at 7:08. See dozens of your favorite characters from Star Wars and get a Tigers R2-D2 hat with a special ticket package available exclusively at tigers.com/Star Wars. So here's the top of the order now. Brian Dozier.
Bernier had 4 steals in the minor leagues in 6 attempts. So he doesn't run that often, but Ron Gardenhire might just turn him loose. To see if he can get him down into scoring position.
We've talked about the fact that the Tigers have not been really good in throwing out base runners, or at least limiting the running game in recent times.
In Kansas City, it was like a track meet up in here when they were here a few days ago.
They wouldn't stop. Here's the 0-1. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Opponents have tried it 4 times this year on Rondon. They've been successful all 4 times. Stolen base attempts.
Which leads me to believe that number 5 is in order. The 5th, I should say.
Well, Bruce is not ignoring him, that's for sure. Steps off now as Bernier goes back to first. One out walk here in the 8th. 6-6 tie. The Austin Jackson home run tied it up in the bottom of the 6th. Missed it high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner goes, hit to the shortstop. Iglesias, tough hop. Got it. 2 outs.
One of the things you're taught as an infielder, you start out on the balls of your feet and you stay on your balls of the feet, which allow you to come in and go back. Look at the footwork here of Iglesias. 3, 4, 5 steps back. He gets the proper hop, the hop that he wants, knowing that he's got plenty enough arm strength to throw out Dozier at first base, even though Dozier a pretty good runner.
So with a couple of lefties due up here, Jim Leland will be going to the bullpen. Rondon will depart. And in a 6-6 tie, here comes Drew Smyly. Couple of homers today for the Tigers. It is a 6-6 tie, and Drew Smyly comes on now for Detroit.
5-0 record for Drew Smyly. Got the win in last night's game. 12 holds out of that Tigers bullpen ERA, just a shade over 1. And the strikeouts to walks ratio is superb. 70 strikeouts, just 15 base on balls issued for the young left-hander.
And with the go-ahead run at second base and 2 outs, Smyly comes in to face Herman. Single, double, RBI, and a run scored today for Chris Herman. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rondon started the inning, faced 3 batters, walked 1 of them, and now Smyly trying to get the final out. Here's the 1-1. Drilled to center field. Jackson is on the move, coming over. Can't get it. It'll drop in. That'll score the run. Herman goes to second and dives in safely. And the Twins have taken the lead 7-6.
Very seldom do you see Austin Jackson in center field not take direct routes, but this was the case on the line drive off of the bat of Herman. When this ball left his bat, Jackson a little unsure whether to come in, go back. Then he finally went to the left, and he just couldn't make that play. But he's as good as any in center field. Just couldn't make that catch. Looked like the glove got stuck on the ground too as he reached down to try to make the play.
So with 2 outs, a 2-base hit to drive in a run for Chris Herman, and it's 7-6 Minnesota. And Morneau pops it in the air to shallow left field. Tuiasosopo is there to end the inning. However, the Twins go ahead on the RBI 2-base hit. It's now 7-6 inning. On the Chris Herman RBI double scoring Doug Bernier, and all of a sudden it's a 1-run lead now for Minnesota. They have a new pitcher on. Jared Burton will take over.
He usually gets the ball in the 8th inning when they have a lead, and because of that he has 21 holds, a 2.95 ERA. He's got some power in that right arm. 52 strikeouts, 18 walks for Burton. Fastball gets up to 94. He also has a slider, and he is in love with his changeup.
Fans, don't forget to join us for the latest edition of Tigers Weekly, Miggy's First Decade. The show will examine Miguel Cabrera bursting out of the scene in 2003, the trade that brought him to the Tigers in 08. You'll relive Cabrera's memorable Triple Crown winning season of 2012 and a whole lot more. The latest edition of Tigers Weekly, Miggy's First Decade, premieres this Friday at 5:30 p.m. and then again at 9 a.m. on Saturday, only at Fox Sports Detroit.
That's going to be must-see TV.
Can't wait to see it. We'll be able to relive the first decade of Miguel Cabrera's career. So here come the Tigers, now down by a run.
That first decade, a historic decade.
That it is. And he just continues to add to it. Iglesias has a double in 3 at-bats in this game. And he pops up the first pitch. Left side of the infield, Bernier says, I'll take it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Casey Fiend pitched a scoreless 7th, and now Burton here in the 8th. Looks like Brian Pena now is going to pinch hit for Brian Holiday.
It's a tough league,
Isn't it, though? Holiday had a single, a homer, a walk, 2 RBI.
and he got the rally started last night to 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Pena, who's been awfully good. Try to get something started here in the bottom of the 8th. Bryant looks at a strike, 0-1. Pena has not started the last 2 games after fouling a ball off his foot. More precisely his toe and back foot. One ball, 1 strike.
He's done nice work this year, handling a new pitching staff. He's hitting over 300, and he has driven in 21.
Backed him out of there, 2-1 the count. Last 4 seasons with the Royals as their backup catcher, 4 years in Atlanta as well. Here's the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brian Pena. Austin Jackson waiting on deck. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Both sides have 11 hits. The Twins, though, got the go-ahead run in the top of the 8th inning. Foul tip into the glove for strike 3. Pena's out, 2 gone. First strikeout for Burton.
Another good day for Austin Jackson, 2 for 3 with a 3-run home run the last time he was up.
And that home run was his 10th of the year. Jackson also hit by a pitch in this ball game today, and AJ takes one outside. You want to know the count of the Tigers leadoff man, Benoit, joined by Albuquerque in the Detroit bullpen.
Austin Jackson, one of 5 Tiger players in their history to go double digits in homers, doubles, triples, and stolen bases. A rare combination of power and speed. Curtis Granderson also did that when he was wearing a Tigers uniform.
Austin takes one inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And, Jackson was a part of the Curtis Granderson deal. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Jackson. Boston this year has scored 79 runs, 2 more in this game here today, and 110 hits on the season.
And he missed a month of the season.
He did. He missed a good chunk. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. And Burton has himself a 1, 2, 3 innings. Still 7-6. Go to the 9th. A 1-run lead for the Minnesota Twins as they try and take 2 out of 3 in this series from Detroit.
Brian Wilson back in the big leagues with the Dodgers after going through Tommy John surgery last year and missing the entire season. Last time we saw him, he was tearing up that visiting dugout.
Yeah, he was. That's right. I forgot about that. Al Albuquerque is the new pitcher for Detroit. It's going to be interesting to see how Wilson is able to pitch down the stretch for the Dodgers.
Well, they're going to get a free look at him. That's why they called him up. A couple of weeks left, and before you have to have guys on your roster if you want to make sure you use those guys during the postseason. So they called him up to take a look to see what they have.
Josh Willingham leading it off, and he takes a strike. 1-1. Albuquerque pitched 1 inning on Tuesday, struck out 2, did not allow a hit. Check swing, and it's ruled a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Albuquerque has a lot of confidence in his slider, and he can throw it in this count, and he can throw it for a strike and pretty much when he wants to.
Tigers are going with Rondon, Smiley, and now Albuquerque out of their bullpen today. And a swing and a miss.
There's that slide piece at 87 miles an hour. He's got a better one than that, though. He's got that one that looks like it's a strike until it gets right before the hitter swings. All of a sudden, it ends up about 6 inches off the plate outside.
Up and in.
He overthrew that one.
Each ball club with 11 hits today. The Tigers down by a run here in the 9th inning. Brian Pena staying in the game to do the catching. And he went around. Willingham is out, 1 gone.
He overthrew the previous slider that stayed up and in to Willingham, but he made sure he got on top of that one, released it out in front. And when you do all those things right, you can get a lot of uncomfortable swings on that slider that Albuquerque throws and give you a look at it in Exmo. He has a kind of slider as a hitter. You know you're going to get it. I mean, you know you're going to get it. At least two of the pitches while you're up there, but you just can't hit it.
Well, here is Dozier. He'll give it a shot. He has a 3-run homer in this game that came off Verlander. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Dozier. Albuquerque trying to keep this a 1-run game when we get to the bottom of the ninth. Tigers have some heavy hitters coming up. In fact, they will have 2, 3, and 4 due up. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
I guess in other words, you're saying that Glenn Perkins, their closer, is going to have to earn the save this afternoon.
He is going to have to do that indeed. Hunter, Cabrera, fielder, good luck. 1-run game. If Albuquerque can keep it there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There is Perkins warming up. He was able to save the first game in the series. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Dozier down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Albuquerque.
Exactly where you want to miss. You want to miss down in the zone when you're throwing a breaking ball to a dangerous hitter like Dozier, who's already hit a 3-run home run in this game today.
Here's Trevor Plouffe now with bases empty. Ooh, way up in it. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Albuquerque's got a little giddy up on that fastball. He can get all the way up to 98 miles an hour.
Now the 1-0.
Another young pitcher that burst on the scene a couple of years ago and actually started the season with the Tigers in the big leagues this year. Brian Villarreal back in the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, he went over as part of that Iglesias deal. That slides high. 3-0.
John Farrell, their manager, couldn't have put him in a more difficult spot when he made his Boston Red Sox debut.
A walk-off walk.
Bases loaded, 9th inning.
Little chopper hit to the shortstop, Iglesias. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning now. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Perkins will have to face Hunter, Cabrera, fielder, and it's all coming up.
Tigers Live must go on after the game. We're holding out hope that we'll talk to the Tigers hero of the game on the field after the game. And in any event, we'll take you inside the clubhouse to get Justin Verlander's thoughts on his afternoon. We'll hear from the skipper, Jim Leland, and we'll even ask Brian Holiday what he's going to do with that first home run ball. All that and more coming up after the game on Tigers Live from the Coliseum Studios. Mario, Rod.
All right, Mick, thanks. We look forward to it. Hopefully after a Tiger rally here in the bottom of the ninth, Glenn Perkins will take over now for Minnesota.
He got a save just a couple of days ago, first game of this series, but he had to go through Miguel Cabrera to do so to get the final out with a couple of runners aboard. He's had a good year. 29 saves for Perkins and 32 chances. The whip is under 1, and he struck out 61, and he doesn't walk very many.
Torrey Hunter swings at the first pitch, pops it up, shallow center. The new shortstop is Pedro Florimon. He runs back there and gets it for the out.
Now, speaking of Miguel Cabrera and the confrontation that he and Perkins had just on Tuesday night, here you go. Perkins said he knew Miguel was in a very hitterish mood because he swung at that first pitch out of the zone that bounced, and therefore he said, I knew I had to make quality pitches after that because he was so aggressive. Miggy tweaked that hip flexor after that very first swing, and he continued to limp around, and finally he got Miggy with a fastball up in the mid-90s. Game over.
Now Cabrera stands in with 1 out of the ninth. 0-1 on Miguel. He is 0 for 4 so far in this game. 286 against Perkins. Backed him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. .354 now for Cabrera on the season. Ball 2, 2-1 on Miguel. Way high, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Kind of looking like Perkins really doesn't want anything to do with Miguel here. Willing to put the tying run on base.
It's almost as if he's saying, well, I got him last time, playing with fire here this time. And he walked him, so the tying run is on. And it looks like Cabrera is going to be pitch run for. Always a difficult decision for Leland to make, especially if this game goes extra innings. Best hitters out of the game, but they're taking him out. You got to get it there first. Don Kelly pitch runs. Tying run at first. Here is Prince Fielder. Did not go. 1-0. Couple of hits in his first 2 at bats. Fielder singling in a run back in the 3rd.
Glenn Perkins has a fastball that will go from 93 all the way up to 97 miles an hour.
Ground ball, base hit, right field. Kelly on his way to second, stops there, and the Tigers at 2 on.
Also will throw you a slider at about 85 miles an hour, which Prince Fielder got up in the strike zone and hit an absolute frozen rope right through the right side of the infield past Dozier and Justin Morneau. This ball is hanging. Perkins is lucky this one didn't go out of the yard.
Kelly watched it through and gets to second base. Now Prince is the winning run at first.
Perkins pitched around Miguel Cabrera, walked him. Kelly now standing at second base because he has so much respect for Miguel. He didn't think he'd probably get him out. 2 consecutive at bats.
Meanwhile, Vickers had success against Perkins, 5 for 13. Tigers now have 12 hits. Ground ball to short. Florimon flips to second. 1 relay to first. A game-ending double play.
Perkins does it again.
He wiggles out of a jam here in the 9th, inducing the ground ball double play, and the Twins come to town and take 2 out of 3. Back with more from the ballpark.